Coach C.Collins here, your AAU guy. Came to the Bakersfield State University camp. It was a lot of fun. My youth guys had a good time. Finally got to sit down with Coach Barnes. Eventually, we're going to get him on the show. We're going to get him about that life. But I wanted to do a quick interview with this man because we've all kind of, me personally, seen his rise from just on that grind day to day, giving those tips out to where his following has grown immensely. So I want to ask a couple questions that I know people always want to ask a D1 coach. He's one of the most candid guys you can talk to and keeps things straight up. So my first question to you, Coach Barnes, when you're out here evaluating, when you're looking at kids, what's the top 2 things you look for? And I know you talk about this on the videos, but still, again, for those who want to play at this level, what are you looking for?
I mean, I think the motor was number 1 on the list. That's what we look for. Playing hard on both ends, that's what we look for. So, like, if you don't do those, like, you automatically out. And I thought that some guys that you go see, especially, like, whether it's a camp or even in AAU, like, you can knock out 90% of the kids because they don't play hard. So, like, that's number 1 for sure. And then number 2, I would say, I mean, communicating, because that's something that we value in our program. Guys that don't talk on the floor, like Coach said, or they don't talk in our workouts. He said that, they're either scared or they don't know what they're doing. Right. You know what I mean? And neither one of those work for us. So we want to have guys out there that, are tough-minded, that'll talk and things like that, and kind of figure out what we're doing. So I think those are the top 2 things that we kind of value.
And a lot of people might not realize this or know this, but, your dad's the head coach here. And how's that dynamic, having your pops as the head coach? How's ever had some debates or ever had some good conversations?
No, I mean, it's a lot easier than playing for him, that's for sure. I mean, I think that he has a wealth of knowledge. Like, he's my dad, but I mean, my dad was Naismith National Coach of the Year, so, like, that's the highest award you can get as a coach, and to be able to learn and pick his brain on how he was a successful coach, things that he did early in his career that he probably wish he would have done better at, that he gives to me. Like, it's just an opportunity for me to learn from one of the best. You know what I mean? I think that, my dad's in the Hall of Fame at Ole Miss, where he went to school. I think he's a Hall of Fame caliber coach. So to learn from that guy every day, I think it's an honor for me. It's a blessing.
And as far as I know, when we talked, like, for doing this camp, this is the first time you did the youth side, right?
Yeah.
And how do you feel overall with the youth camp and how, it ran down? I know I brought like 10, 11 guys, but how do you feel how that side of it turned out?
I mean, I think it was good. I mean, we have some media guys here from Bakersfield that were impressed with the talent that came down here, especially from the Bay. I think it's something that can open up doors because we don't have a lot of numbers. Yeah. So you got 40 kids, and the first one is not a money grab for us. It's really, we're evaluating talent. So we got a lot of good players to come up in here, 7th through 10th grade, that I thought they competed. I thought the games were pretty fair as far as the team build. So, and that happens when you have good players, you know what I mean? So when you have good players at the camp, the teams are pretty even. And so I thought it ended up being really good.
And then, pretty much my last question, now that you got the older kids coming, the big boys, right? Obviously there's some guys probably coming in from JUCOs aspiring to get some looks. And the reality is, I want to point out, they are hosting a very affordable camp. There's a lot of college camps out there that are a lot more expensive, and they actually make this very affordable and very cool and smooth. But what are kind of things you guys are looking for when you're doing these camps, and is it or looking to teach or looking to implement out there? Just kind of, what's the overall deal when as a college coach, when you guys are running these camps? What are you guys thinking you're looking for?
I mean, we're looking for, really just trying to get guys in front of coach. You know what I mean? Like, he don't have the time to, like, go and see a lot of these kids, and I'm on the road, I'm seeing a lot of these kids, so I'm like, man, we need to bring them to camp. I think we have the capability to really make it kind of an out-of-state type deal, which I had a 7th grader from Maryland that came. There's some kids, there's a kid from Texas that's here at this camp and things like that. So it's some, last year I had some kids from Atlanta. So it's some kids, that are from out of state that you get an opportunity to kind of see, and coach can actually see them. And they're guys that we've identified that we think they're good players. And so we're identifying them like, man, you need to come see them so that coach can say, man, I've seen those guys. Right. So I think that's kind of really that's really what we're trying to figure out, and really is the purpose of the camp. We're just identifying guys that we see early. Yeah. Like, we got the middle school kids, guys that we can follow for a few years and just kind of watch their progress. So I think that's what we're trying to get out of the camp. You know what I mean? Just kind of get good players. They all play against each other. Like I said, these high school kids are going against JUCO guys, so it kind of gives us a measure of how good they are really. You
Okay.
know what I mean? And how ready they are to come to this level. So we think like I said, I think it's a good camp. This is our second year doing it. And like I said, the people in Bakersfield have given really good feedback as well as the people that are in camp.
And just thought of this last question, just kind of on a funny note, with your social media presence and how it's grown.
Yeah.
How is that now when you kind of do your normal routine of like going to a live period weekend or do you think that's made things a little easier, a little more difficult? Is it kind of like you can't walk 2 feet without people shaking your hand and be like, I'm trying to sit down and watch the game?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
how's that felt for you?
I mean, I think it's closed the gap for me. I think that I can walk into a gym without a big name shirt on and people know who I am. So I think it's closed the gap. It's helped in recruiting. It brought our program more notoriety. You know what I mean? So I think it's been a really good thing for me personally, just kind of in a professional sense. And then kids feel like they can relate to me because I'm the same person I am in real life that I am on social media. So I don't really have to change for anyone. You know what I mean? So it's been a really good thing. Like I said, I think it's going to help me within my career as long as I keep my mind on the right stuff. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, man. Thanks for taking a couple minutes. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Hey.
And we'll be in touch. And again, go follow this man. Follow his IG. Everything will be linked in the bio, you know. And, of course, you can follow my journey as the AAU guy if you want to. But, again, Coach Barnes, appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate it.